Hello there. I'm Liz Smoke, founder of the Kids Business Summit and Start Strong for Young Changemakers. As you may already know, I assist children and their parents grow budding brands and create a legacy of community and revenue that will serve them for the rest of their lives. We love building the entrepreneurial spirit in young changemakers, whether they're building a budding business, selling lemonade on the corner, or creating real change and impact in the world with causes that matter to them. Either way, the family business plan is where I'd like you to start. And this is a video tutorial that'll do just that. The family business plan is a workbook that allows you, the parent, or any adult really that's charged with supporting a young change maker, whether it be mom or dad, a coach, grandparents, what have you. In this workbook, it will allow you to create a true north for going down this journey. You'll also see how I completed the workbook and how my family uses it to this day. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's definitely a keeper. So print it out and keep it close. Any questions you have, feel free to join us in the Start Strong Facebook group. Just search Start Strong for Young Entrepreneurs and you'll find us inside of Facebook. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Okay, so here we have the family business plan. I'm so thrilled to be able to walk you through this. First, you'll find just a welcome letter from me, and this is really our first introduction on how this all came to be, a little highlight of what my story was kind of coming up, and what I wish I knew and I had before launching my own entrepreneurial journey. So this is just a little introduction to me and our family that I hope you'll enjoy. So we start the business plan with the family principles. Now, what you're looking at right now is the family principles that we drafted in our own family. So this is specific to us. You're more than welcome to keep it as your own or adopt it to your own family. And I'll give you the space to do that. So first, we are committed to asking for what we want in our family. We really don't want to encourage that, if you don't get your way or if you need something and you're afraid to ask, you kind of pout in the corner. So we're constantly encouraging one another, adult and child alike, to ask for what you need, right? And it helps each individual kind of soul search for a little bit, because if you're feeling uncomfortable or stressed out or upset and you don't really know why, it's really asking yourself, what is it that I need to make me feel better? So that's the first step. We ask for what we need. We are kind, right? So in our tone of voice, in the way that we engage with people out in the world, we are kind. No matter if you're in a bad mood, no matter if you don't really like the person, you're still diplomatic, you're still kind. And that's just kind of a thread that we should all live by, regardless of what our situation is. We give to others. So we are a big volunteer family, in fact, to a fault, because there's only so much time to go around, but we all have volunteer projects, my husband, myself, and my daughter. And we are constantly giving of our time very freely, whether that be to family members, to projects, again, volunteers, social events at the church. So we love to share and be around people and be able to help those who either can't help themselves or just need an extra hand. So we're always looking for opportunities to be able to give of ourselves. And this is my favorite one because this is one that I've used for many, many years personally. And I think it just adopts beautifully to a family. And that is, we look within our family for fulfillment. So what that means is, oftentimes when we feel unfulfilled or depressed or, not living our passion, we look for other medication, whether it be shopping or overeating or other relationships. We look for solutions outside of ourselves. And if that was one message I could partake or could impart on the world, would be, you have all the medicine that you need to make you feel better, to make your life better, to make your situation better, right within you. And it's trusting what's inside of you to lead you to the right direction, and always looking within for fulfillment. We look within our family for fulfillment. So if somebody in the family is bored, we address that. We ask for what we want, right? I'm bored. We've been doing the same thing for the past year, or, I need a break. Whatever the case is, it goes hand in hand with asking for what you need and looking to your family, looking to your household to provide that fulfillment. And it's a really healthy walk to walk, if you ask me. Now, in our house, we believe the role of the child is to learn, to model good citizenship, to play. That should actually be number one, I think. To build relationships. That's important in today's day and age when everything is electronic. Texting is the ideal form of communication within our kids. And building relationships is so important for a multitude of things that I won't go into right now. I'm sure you know many of those things. And the ability to confront conflict, to be able to communicate in a healthy way, to be able to ask for what they want in a relationship, whether that be elementary school friends or high school teachers, whatever the case is, the relationship is something that's crucial to your child's development and success throughout their life. And of course, to participate in family projects. So it's a non-negotiable for us that if we are involved in a family project, whether it be with grandparents or neighbors or something that we've just adopted as a project of our own, that the child is involved in some way, whether it be giving their opinion or physically involved in helping out. That's something that is, again, another non-negotiable here in our family. Now, the role of the parent in our family, we believe, is to model resourcefulness. And you'll hear that theme throughout many of the things that I do, because resourcefulness is a skill of anyone in any walk of life that kind of instills a measure of success within them. And what that means is when things get tough, when you don't have the skills or the tools that you need to get to where you want to go, resourcefulness is going to get you the other part of the way, right? Where to find people to help you, mentors to guide you, the money that you need to get to where you want to go. If you're the kind of person that when things get tough and the wolf is at the door, and do you go and buy your biggest venti Starbucks triple shot and go hide under the covers? Your child is watching that. Your child is watching how you deal with adversity and whether you can be resourceful for them and for yourself. They're always watching. So being able to go and find what you're looking for to get you to the next step, whether that's completing a homework project or building a brand or building a charity somewhere, that is highly important. The role of the parent, of course, in my opinion, everywhere should be to love and protect, right? Even when that protection is from something that you want them desperately to do, whether it is build a business or create an organization or, fly a plane. I don't know what it is, but it is to ultimately protect their feelings, their well-being, their health, their peace of mind. So that to me is the ultimate role. And of course, to coach, mentor, and guide. So not necessarily to tell your child what to do and how to do things, but to guide them to find their own solutions, to mentor them, right? Give them a foresight into the things that they're looking toward doing. Give them your experience, lend them your experience. Gone are the days when parents tell us, well, I never did that. I didn't do those bad things when I was growing up. Gone are those days because the lessons are left out. So being able to communicate with your child and guide them, coach them through the things that they're working through from a bird's eye view that only you have can go a long way and really give them the tools and the ability to make the healthy decisions that they need to. So in the next page, you will see that it's blank, and I give you the spaces to create your own. You're more than welcome to use ours, copy them right over to this sheet. And I encourage you to print this out and post it somewhere where your family convenes, whether it's in the kitchen on the, the magical refrigerator, next to your office, on the bathroom mirror. And always hold these principles dear until they become habit. So next we go through our family commitments, and the commitments go hand in hand with the principles, because this is what you are committed to today. And we know that a lot of this stuff changes as our family evolves and matures, but you should always have kind of a baseline of what your family commitments will always be. And we begin with spirituality, whether that mean prayer, meditation, church, synagogue, mosque, whatever your form of spirituality is, write that down and have a family commitment around what your factor of spirituality might be. So write down then your priorities and responsibilities, whether they be everyone sits down and has breakfast together. So for us, one of our priorities is every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we sit down as a family and we have breakfast together. Now, sometimes it's a full-on scrambled eggs, potatoes, biscuit kind of breakfast, but most of the time it really is just coffee and toast. It's quick. It doesn't have to be, this laborious task. And I'm not saying breakfast is your thing. Sometimes it's dinner. Sometimes it's going to lunch together with your spouse. Whatever your priorities are, you want to write those down. Taking into account everyone's priorities and responsibilities will help keep them in perspective as the business grows and the momentum builds. For example, homework comes before business tasks, right? A day of rest or family time or worship time comes before any travel or going to the farmers markets to sell our widgets. Eating 2 or 3 meals together as a family comes before the hurried pace of a full schedule. It's your family, it's your rules, but write them down so that you can all discuss them. And maybe they're just things that you're doing repetitively that really are kind of outdated for you and you think you want to change things a bit. So writing them down helps. Now, we each need to feel we matter, right? We know this. And when folks don't feel like they matter positively, they're going to matter negatively, right? That's when our children lash out, or when people, out in the world do really bad and, hateful things because they're trying to matter, and they've tried to matter in a good way. Now they're mattering in a negative way. So we want to take into account that everyone's feelings are heard. Everyone is buying into this beautiful process, and we're writing it all down so we can always go back to check. So I encourage that the adults start first, right? Adults must discuss first what this new venture means to the family, what the responsibilities will be for each member, a discussion and ultimate agreement upon the foreseeable trade-offs and sacrifices the family will encounter while on this journey will serve as the foundation for and roadmap to a healthy family business that takes all individual contributions and responsibilities into account. So what will be the trade-offs and the sacrifices for your family should you go down this kid business road with your child? Are you going to postpone a family vacation because you have to invest in something that your child needs? Will you have to travel every weekend to craft fairs or farmers markets? Will you have to make an investment in the business or miss some school functions or friends' birthdays, right? So you want to write this stuff down so that you know what your family is going to be giving up or trading out as this new brand or business grows for your child. What are the agreements, right? So as you discuss as the adults together first, come away from that meeting with, how will we discuss this with our child? What will be the things that we want to highlight as important to our child? What is going to be their role? And I encourage you to constantly assure them that they will remain to be a child. Their expectation, or your expectation of them, is to play, is to have friends over, is to, have the dirty knees and the bike riding and the doodling, whatever they love to do. You want to encourage that to continue. You don't want to put them in a role of CEO or a business owner when they're just a kid. Whether they're 9 or 19, it doesn't matter. And we realize that as a child matures, their ability to take on more or their interest in taking on more will grow. But your role is really to highlight the idea of your role first is to be a kid or a young maturing adult and do all the things that comes with growing up, right? It's our role as parents to take on kind of the headaches that comes with building a business or building a brand, et cetera. You get to do all the fun stuff, and we want you to do all the fun stuff, right? So you want to agree on this as adults first. And then once you've come to an agreement of how this will all look for your family, then you go and then you take it to your child and say, this is what we're coming up with. We want your input, but understand that we've got some non-negotiables here that we definitely want to put on the table. Okay? All right. So moving forward, we're able to move forward with the following conditions, right? So mom or dad or kid might say, you know what, I am willing to do this. I'm willing to give this a try. For how long, right? What are the conditions, right? So we're going to go full steam ahead for the next year. We're going to invest everything we need to for the next year. But if XYZ happens, and that could be we move to another state, or I get the promotion I'm working for, or our child goes off to college, or you get that, soccer club scholarship, or whatever happens, what happens next, right? I need, again, to be heard. I agree with all of this. I'm ready to move full force into it. I'm ready to buy in completely, but based on these following conditions, and write them down. The last and most important question, and I encourage you all to answer this for yourself. It doesn't have to be an answer right away. I discourage you from chastising someone if they have the answer that you don't necessarily like, because this is the most important question. Will your family be okay if you go down this road? Will your family be okay if you go down this road? Because some families might be thinking about friendship bracelets outside of the grocery store. Other families might be thinking about 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And they both have their own consequences, their own rewards, and their own level of commitment and engagement from the family, not only the child, from the entire family. So you need to know that your family is going to be okay. Right? Are we going to be okay as a couple if we go down this road and we, take on these commitments, right? So think about this introspectively as a couple and as yourself on your own. And write down anything that comes up here, any fears, right? Really important. Any, well, what ifs, right? That's going to be very common. After you've recorded your feelings, ask your child for their insights as well. They may surprise you. Okay, so moving on. Here again is your personal commitment, right? I want you to take inventory, and there's a sheet here for each member of your family. I want you to take inventory of what your current responsibilities are. So what will this mean to me? Create a visual inventory of your responsibilities in order to get a clear understanding of what you'll have to prioritize and juggle. Each member of the family should do this exercise, okay? So first, I want you to put in what your new responsibilities might be, right? And I understand that if you're in your infancy here with your child's business, that might not be too clear, but in the immediate, we want to know what it is you're going to be responsible for, right? Is that going to be graphic design? Is that going to be making connections out in the real world? Is that going to be setting up networking events? Is it going to be, printing, getting training, right? Online, making sure that you have all the tools that you need. Whatever the case is, you want to write that down. Add in your existing duties and responsibilities as a parent, as a professional, whatever you've got going on in your life, right? A volunteer, if you're volunteering at the church or at the school, write down the high level responsibilities, right? I have a volunteer meeting 3 times a month. Whatever the case is, you want to take inventory of all of your duties and responsibilities for two reasons. One is to assess whether you should be still doing them, right? If they can live somewhere else. If you need a hand, asking for what you want. If you need a hand in taking something on, whether if it's an existing duty, can you pass it on to someone else? Or you want to write this down so that you are clear onto what your new workload is going to be. Everyone is clear what the new workload is going to be, right? It's not later on saying, honey, but you asked me to do all this other stuff while I have my other responsibilities, and now you're dumping more on me, right? So we want to minimize that, but you said, and what we talked about, and just write it all down. Okay, so this exercise here is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant for you to clearly assess the demands that will be placed on your family and to knowingly move forward with confidence. Getting it all out on paper will help each member see the truth about their role. Okay, this is supposed to be a good exercise because it gives you insight into what it is you're doing all day, every day, and whether or not you need to do those things. So here we've got a couple other sheets, like I promised, for each member of the family to do that exercise. Next, we have my personal commitment. How does this make me feel, right? Again, this is an individual worksheet. This is an individual ask. How does this make me feel? Meaning all the work that you've just done, thinking about the future of where your child is going to go down this journey, right? Are they building a cause that they want to gain community around? Are they building a brand? Are they building a business? Have they developed a thing, a new invention? How does all of this make you feel? Does it make you feel excited, overwhelmed, scared? Why? Is it because you think that you don't have the tools that you need? Maybe not the money that you need? Are you worrying that your relationship with your spouse or your partner might not withstand this journey? You can see that this workbook, the Family Business Plan, allows you to assess the health of the road that you're about to go out on. So remember that your family asks for what they need, right? And remember that a healthy family asks for what they need. So depending on how you feel up above, down below, ask for what you need. I need help with XYZ. I think we should consider hiring someone to help us with 1, 2, 3, right? I just need help understanding and believing that I'm going to be supported from my family if we go down this road, right? Ask for what you need. It could be something big. It could just be some acknowledgement of, you know what, honey, I've got your back. That's all I need to hear, right? So I've also put in here a few more of these worksheets, blank ones, so that everyone in your family can create their own assessment right here on these pages. So I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough of the Family Business Plan, and I hope you will print it out and put it somewhere where you can access it all the time. I've got mine in my binder, and I see it as part of my daily planner all the time. And when I'm feeling a little lost, when I'm feeling like I don't really know the road that I should take, I go back to this. And I know that the investment that my spouse and my child put into this, I can clearly see what they need from me. And it helps me realign and reassess where I'm going in helping them launch this brand. So I hope that you too enjoyed it. Please feel free to share. Join us in our Facebook group, Start Strong for Young Entrepreneurs, if you'd like to do this alongside all of the rest of us. Again, we'll see you inside of Facebook at Start Strong for Young Entrepreneurs. In the meantime, I hope your family is healthy and enjoys a wealth of enjoyment throughout their child's journey.